I think the reason the Beatles are unmatched is they managed to sort of top out various different parts of the music industry. So if you think about the very first part of their career, they were this massive sensation. They had sort of the charisma, they had the look, they had the good tunes, but they were also writing their own tunes, which was unusual for the time, and also getting ridiculous chart success. But then they could have stopped, like when they stopped touring in, I think it was 65 or 66, they could have stopped then, and we never would have got Revolver and Sergeant Pepper and the White Album, Abbey Road, and they would still be regarded as like icons. But then they had this second wind of their career where they're like, hey, we've shown that you can fill a baseball stadium full of music fans. We've shown that you can have the top 5 positions in the Billboard chart at the same time. Let's now show you how you can innovate the studio, which at the time was a new thing. And of course, there were other artists like the Beach Boys experimenting with the studio, but it's the way that the Beatles innovated so many different aspects of what would become the foundation of the music industry for the next 100 years. But the Beatles were so interested in doing something new every time. Every song had to have something new, whether it was a studio technique or a structure or a chord progression. They just loved doing new things. So they were writing all of these new tunes, not because they were trying to innovate, but just because they were excited by these new ideas. I think it's important to remember how young the pop music industry was then, barely 15 years old. People saw pop music as a fad. So there wasn't this pressure that you can think of in hindsight where like they were like pinnacles of culture. They were just making sort of silly songs for teenagers and just having fun. And then now we look back and we're like, oh, these are staples of Western culture.